The average person checks their phone 96 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes you are awake. We tell ourselves it's for connection, for information. But let's be honest about the ritual. An original thought sparks in your mind, a unique idea, a question about your life's direction. It's fragile, new. What is the immediate subconscious reflex? It's not to ponder, to journal, to debate with yourself. It is to reach for this device. You rush to see if your thought is valid, to see if strangers on the internet have already had it, approved it, or torn it down. Recent studies on decision paralysis from information overload confirm this isn't just a bad habit. It's a cognitive trap. You find conflicting opinions. You find mockery. You find a cacophony of noise where you sought a single reassuring signal. The original thought, the one that was uniquely yours, doesn't survive this committee of digital ghosts. It dies, not from a fatal flaw, but from 1,000 tiny cuts of outsourced confidence. Let me introduce you to the Toxic Mattress Theory. Imagine for a moment that you receive undeniable proof that the mattress you sleep on every night is filled with slow-releasing toxins. The moment you possess this knowledge, you are cursed with the obligation to act. You must disrupt your life, spend money you may not have, and go through the effort of replacing it. The alternative is to knowingly poison yourself, night after night. So what is the third option? To never, ever look for the proof, to choose ignorance. This is precisely what we do with our lives. The dead-end job is a toxic mattress. The relationship that has been emotionally over for years is a toxic mattress. The life path you know is wrong for you is a toxic mattress. We are terrified to look too closely because we understand the math of avoidance. Facing the problem has an immediate, upfront cost. Staying with the problem has a gradual cost, a slow degradation of your health, your spirit, your life. So we choose the slow poison, and we use our screens as the anesthetic. There was a time when solitude was a resource. Philosophers, monks, artists, and scientists sought it out, understanding that only in silence could they hear the faint whispers of truth and inspiration. We have engineered the opposite reality. We have built a world that is terrified of silence, terrified of boredom. But what are we actually running from? It's not emptiness, it's fullness. In the silence, the background noise of distraction finally dies down, and the foreground noise of your own soul begins to speak. Suppressed realizations surface. Uncomfortable truths about your choices emerge. The chasm between the person you pretend to be online and the person who is alone in that room becomes agonizingly visible. We fear discovering we are living the wrong life. We fear the colossal effort it would take to change. We fear admitting that years may have been wasted. And beneath it all, we fear the stranger that is our own true self. Welcome to the comparison industrial complex, the machine that weaponized human connection against itself. The mechanism is a perfect, vicious loop. You log on seeking a feeling of community or belonging. The algorithm, designed for engagement, feeds you not connection, but comparison. It shows you the highlight reel of 1,000 other lives, meticulously curated to showcase success, beauty, and happiness. Your brain, with its primitive wiring, registers this as a threat. Everyone else is living a better life. A spike of anxiety and inadequacy follows. What do you do to soothe that anxiety? You scroll more, seeking a distraction, a different feeling. But the machine only has one product. It feeds you more comparison, which creates more anxiety, which drives more engagement. We are consciously aware of this. We joke about how toxic it is, how it's brainwashing. We know we are being manipulated, and yet we volunteer for it. Hour after hour. Why? Because the alternative, putting the phone down and facing the root cause of our inadequacy, is infinitely more terrifying. We have created the most sophisticated system for avoiding emotional maturity in human history. We treat our technology not as a tool, but as a digital pacifier for an adult baby. The infinite scroll is the perfect pacifier. an endless, mindless stream of distraction that demands nothing of you. Disappearing stories are a pacifier, allowing for interaction with zero commitment. Likes and upvotes are pacifiers, tiny, hollow pellets of validation that temporarily soothe the ache of insecurity. Even the algorithm itself is a pacifier, making our choices for us so we don't have to face the terror of our own desires. And what deep adult anxieties are we pacifying? The booming internal voice that says you are in the wrong career, the gut feeling that time is slipping through your fingers, the gnawing knowledge that you are capable of so much more, the heartbreaking truth about the state of your relationships. We are drugging the truest parts of ourselves into a silent, comfortable stupor. Here is the most beautiful and most horrible truth of all. We all know exactly what we are doing. This isn't a secret. We are not unwitting victims of a malicious system. We are conscious, willing participants in our own distraction. We have the language for it. We joke about doom scrolling. We announce that we need a digital detox, and then spend 8 more hours online. We install screen time limiters with the full intention of hitting ignore for 15 minutes until the day is over. We are all in on the con. And the reason we are complicit is simple, and it is damning. Real change is harder than temporary distraction. Acknowledging a truth requires subsequent action. Action requires courage. Courage requires facing fear head-on. And facing fear is uncomfortable, so we refresh the feed instead. It is the path of least resistance. A collective, silent agreement to not ask the hard questions, because we are all terrified of the answers. Let's scale this up. If one person avoids their truth by scrolling, what happens when 8 billion people are doing it at the same time? What truths are we, as a civilization, collectively suppressing? What fundamental problems with our systems, our economies, our cultures, are we choosing to ignore by staring at our palms? What planetary toxic mattress are we refusing to look at? What societal evolution are we actively delaying? The sheer number of hours humanity collectively spends in this state of distraction is staggering. It is a squandering of cognitive and spiritual resources on an unprecedented scale. Perhaps the great unspoken truth is that we all feel it. We all know the system is fragile, that our way of life is unsustainable, that there is a profound emptiness at the heart of our progress. Perhaps the ultimate fear is that if we all put our phones down at the same time, we would all realize the same terrifying thing. And then we would have no choice but to change everything. So here is the challenge. Not a detox, not a productivity hack, an act of digital courage. For just 1 hour, turn it all off, find a room, and sit in it. No phone, no computer, no television, no podcasts. Do not try to meditate or be productive. The goal is not to be peaceful. The goal is to meet the thoughts you have been paying a fortune to avoid. What will surface? The conversation you've been putting off. The business idea you were too scared to pursue. The truth about your health you've been denying. The person you are meant to be. We are all digital cowards, because every notification is a rescue from the responsibility of our own minds. Every scroll is a vote for ignorance over enlightenment. But the thing about your toxic mattress is that it's still poisoning you, whether you acknowledge it or not. And the thing about the truth is that it's still true whether you scroll past it or not. What are you so afraid you will discover? The most radical act of our time is to sit alone, in a room, without a screen, and face yourself. Comment with what you find. If you're brave enough,